we go.
Wake up with the Sleeper Boys podcast, hosted by me and my brothers Bill and Dean. In this week's episode, we take a look at the sights and sounds from the weekend, the worst one-word text to receive, dating advice for those in need on Reddit, the unknown with Dean's conspiracy theory of the week, and of course, Bill's Balls Games. Debo, how was your weekend?
It was good. Went up
It was
to
good.
Went up to Bill's on Saturday. Saw Mom and Aiden and Caitlin and Charlie and all them. Went out to dinner. It was good. Ended up going to my buddy's house. He had a housewarming party. It's a good time. A lot of yelling. We were like hitting golf balls like into. He's like, yeah, let's go out.
Say a lot of yelling.
Well, he's kind of a loud dude, so and he was blackout drunk when I got there. So I was like, yeah, okay. So I didn't really drink much because I was like, I'm gonna go home tonight. So we were like hitting golf balls out in his woods, and I was like, there's no opening. He was like, yeah, we'll just hit them. So we're just hitting them into trees, using the driver, just hitting.
Oh my gosh.
Using his driver, not mine. They have like a path in their backyard, and like people were walking around. I was like, I don't know if this is safe to do that. Not just for us, but for everybody else around us. But that was fun. That was a good time. And then Sunday I just kind of chilled out. I don't think I did anything special. Went and looked at some balloons. That was pretty cool. But seen the 62-year-old man.
Balloon animals?
No, just
hot
like
air
balloons. No, just regular balloons.
Regular balloons.
Just like this guy, he's 62 years old. His name's Julius. He's addicted to balloons himself. So I understood.
Sure.
Did you go look at balloons? I mean,
no, I didn't. Balloons.
I was like, oh, that's so weird.
Just massaging
the balloons.
It's
So
so
there's a 62-year-old
squishy.
man. His name is Julius, right? And he's addicted to balloons. This clip starts off. He's like, they're beautiful, they're soft, they're smooth. He's like everything you'd want. Like, and he's like,
Right.
I know they're not. He's like, I know they're not alive, but sometimes I wonder if my love for them brings them to life. And all this, and they're just regular. They're not like balloon animals or like, happy birthday. They're just regular balloons that he fills up himself and this whatever. But he's been addicted to this for 5 decades, and his house has over 50,000 balloons in his house.
Weird
And
thing
he
is,
can't-
he's only 30.
He's only 30.
Crazy.
He can't sleep unless he's surrounded by them. And as the clip goes on, he starts to go into his sexual love for the balloons. And he's like, if I see a beautiful balloon, he's like, my heart starts to flutter, and he gets aroused. So he's just walking around, just full wood, just walking around a used car lot with all these balloons floating around.
Did you say it's a President's Day sale tomorrow?
he goes on. He goes on and he says he'll take like a 12-inch balloon because he knows like all the sizes of the balloons. Freeze it and then I'm kidding.
I was just
He'll
saying,
take a 12-inch balloon and he'll fill it to 11 inches because it can take a lot more abuse that way. If you know what he's saying. And he's like hugging and kissing it and like comparing it to like the woman you love. He's like, what, like when you go to bed at night and you kiss and hug the woman you love? He's like, it's just kind of like that. And it's like, okay. So he's pounding these balloons. He's getting his balloon in. And but the correct term for it is a lunar. So he's a lunar, right? So like it's obviously like a fetish for balloons, obviously. But he had them split into 2 categories of arousal, right? So like there's the people that like pop the balloons and they get super get going off of that, and then people that don't pop them, which he is. He's not a popper. Obviously, he's 50,000 balloons in his house. But believe it or not,
50,000?
50,000
Like
balloons.
inflated?
Maybe not inflated, because like I was saying, he'll go to used car lots and he said, and he'll just like stare at the balloons and just like wait for them to not, because once they've been sitting in the sun for a while, they start to like, they don't float anymore. They just kind of sink down. And he'll untie them, make love to him. No,
Right out there.
It's right there next to that Honda.
In front of Smith GMC, Chrysler and Dodge. He's just out there.
And he'll I think he said he deflates them and he like puts like talcum powder on them and he'll keep them. He said he has balloons that he's had for 40 years and they're been abused quite heavily. But believe it or not, he is married to a woman, like a real woman, and his wife has just completely accepted it. I don't know if
Are you sure it wasn't a balloon?
She wouldn't
tied together.
She wouldn't be recorded. She wouldn't go onto the film.
No way.
Probably
because that's
and like so his nephew like is like he does stuff like Alcoholic Anonymous stuff and like tries to get people like into therapy, things like that, like tries to get them on the right track. He's like talking to him and he's like, would you ever consider, he's like, no, he's like, there's nothing wrong with me. He's like, I'm just gonna keep doing what I'm doing. He's definitely not gonna stop banging these balloons. And yeah, no, that was what I had seen, and then I finished and I was done with it. So
of course, yeah.
I had to get a couple balloons myself.
First. Dude, I can't even imagine.
Could you imagine
that? Balloons, man. Like, are they all? Are they a mix of like helium ones and just mouth blown or?
I'm sure he does mouth blow a few of them, but no, they're all floating. All the ones that they showed, and he went through all the colors he had. Look, there's green right over there. I like
look at old Greenie over there.
Look at old Greenie over there.
What you doing, Greenie? Just floating around, looking all sexy.
Look at all sexy and shit.
That reminds me, where's Pinky? Oh, oh, dude, that's insane.
Isn't that crazy?
I mean, actually, yeah, insane.
It'd be really loud in that house too. With all the balloons moving.
Oh,
together.
The way he's rubbing on.
Yeah.
Ooh, I would not like that.
So
just the constant like whatever the fabric, whatever that is, not nylon. I don't know, rubber. Is it just rubber?
I think so.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was my weekend.
My weekend was good. Dean brought it up already. He had the niece and nephew up, missing one nephew, but for good reasons. It was fun. Mom came up. Shout out Ida Hills. It was a good weekend. Wanted to do something a little different this week.
Actually, Ida Hills, if you're listening, just comment real quick. Just comment hi down below. Just all right, you can continue.
Okay. All right. I wanted to try something new this week instead of giving you wanted to
you know what I'm talking about.
Get off the stories. I have just real quick to kind of move this along for me. I came up with 2 facts and 1 joke of the week. So
really?
Yeah, first fact, and they're short facts. Wombat poop is cube shaped. If you didn't know that. This unusual shape helps the poop stay in place and mark the wombat's territory.
Dean, you knew that?
I watch a lot of survival shows and stuff, and it's just like one of those things that had popped
Figured
up
that was your
randomly.
Prediction. Cubed poops.
Cubed pooped. I mean, I've been pooping cubes for years. But...
it's incredible.
They're like little icebreakers.
Yeah.
And also a group of jellyfish is called a smack. In case you didn't know that.
Well, I knew that. Yeah.
So, joke came from Reddit. Joke of the week by Miss D Nor is the username.
You have to. They give you a username, and you have to keep it. You can't change it. So they're all weird and random because nobody chooses your own username.
Oh, that's Miss D Nor is the joke of the week. I went to the doctor's recently. He said, "Don't eat anything fatty." I said, "What, like bacon and burgers?" He said, "No, fatty, don't eat anything."
Classic.
Classic. And that was my weekend.
That was it. Nice.
That was it.
Yeah. Last weekend was pretty good. I mean, as you said, a couple of my kids, two of my three were up there with you, and my youngest, John, had 2 days of soccer tryouts. He was picked in the first batch of players offered, so he was pumped, and I was, of course, proud. I actually texted that he made the team, and it led me down a rabbit hole of what the worst texts are to receive and or get. And I found a recent article that was on the New York Post. I think it originally came from HuffPost, but the New York Post put it out there, which declared which word was the worst one-word text. Can you guys guess what that might be? The worst one-word text to receive.
Word text to receive.
In a general sense.
Okay.
All right. I don't know.
All right.
All right. Oh, no. That's the worst text I could have ever gotten. I can't think of.
No,
that would make sense.
Yeah. Well, I mean, obviously, to me, the first thing that comes up is K also. But they claim the answer is sure. Sociolinguist Cynthia Gordon, an associate professor at Georgetown University, said that sure, an indecisive and hesitant quality, or even passive aggressive, similar to using a period to end a message or simply typing the letter K. While we can all benefit from being more generous with our interpretations of text, she admitted that using cheerful punctuation or writing out a more complete sentence might portray more enthusiasm than just a simple sure. Can you guys think of a situation where you sent a text that you completely misinterpreted, or you purposely tried to irritate someone with? Or one that you sent that was misinterpreted, that was something like that? I mean, I certainly do. I could go with what you guys are thinking. While you're thinking about it.
Yeah, go ahead.
Like, my ex, she always would, like, when she was mad, in the text, she would text K.
Yeah.
Right. And I knew she was mad. Right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And so you guys know me. So sometimes I would text that right back.
Yeah.
I would text K back. And that would just escalate the situation. So, like, that was a situation where I was obviously purposely trying to, upset somebody, I guess, with a one word or one letter text. But I don't know.
That was mine. I've done that before, actually, quite a few times. It's like, okay.
Oh, I didn't mean K. You forgot the ATE.
No, just K.
It hit send before the 8 showed up.
Yeah. No, that's exactly. I mean, that's the easiest one to think of off the top of my head.
Yeah. I've been in. I was gonna say pretty much the same scenario, except I didn't put K. I just put yep. So they knew I was like, it was pretty clear. I was like, yeah, I don't really care.
I mean,
yep.
I've definitely used
when it didn't make sense,
Yeah. I've used sure, and I don't mean it in a passive aggressive, like, because like we're all kind of similar in that we will make the decision that isn't a decision. Like they'll be like, oh, we should go do this. And even though you might not feel like it, or maybe you don't really care, you'll be like, oh, sure.
Mm.
But like, you know what I'm saying? Like we don't put it. A lot of people are like that. I'm not saying that, but they won't put it all out there. And so I guess I get what this person is saying, because we all do this too, is you'll put like an exclamation point on the end of like, if you went sure with an exclamation point when somebody said, let's go do this, that's totally different in how they perceive it than just a sure. Right.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. I just,
Why are you yelling?
yeah. Sure.
Hey, whoa, dude.
Very upset about that. Oh, I don't know. I can certainly see where a situation like that in text form can get completely misconstrued, and sometimes you just need an unbiased outside person to look at the issue and give you advice, just like we will do right now on this week's Dear Sleeper Boys. So this week, I kind of vary the subreddits I go into, just to see if I could find some other stuff, And this week I was in the dating advice subreddit, a bunch of pro daters here. First one, the title of this question is, I said I love you to my 1 month girlfriend. Okay. So for context, usually I'll read the title and maybe a sentence or two, but I won't read the full question, because I also want to kind of live react with you guys when we do these. So like, that's why sometimes I'll stumble over a few words, because like I haven't actually read the whole thing, which I probably should. But I'm like, let's see what happens, right? So I said I love you to my 1 month girlfriend. I, a 25-year-old male, have been in a relationship with my girlfriend, who's a 24-year-old female, for a little over a month now. We've known each other for 3 years, and I started having feelings for her 4 to 5 months. Yeah, I bet he's selling that short. Before she asked me out. Recently, we were cooking together and teasing each other. We stopped cooking and started making out. All right. And at one point I said, I love you.
Oh, God.
I realized I said it out loud. He meant to say it out loud. Come on. She did not respond, and it was a little awkward. The rest of the evening went well, but was still awkward. I feel like I ruined things. What do? I can't say, sorry, my bad, I don't love you, or I love you when she doesn't respond. Any advice?
That is a predicament. Wow. That's tough, because it depends. Were they friend? I mean, he said 4 to 5 months before they had even gone out.
Known each other for 3 years.
So there had been times where they had been. That's not as crazy as I was originally thinking. Like, I thought they met, you know what I mean, like through work, and then 3-4 months later they're making out, and then he's like, I love you, and it's like, oh, hey, that's fast. But if you've been really, like, if you'd been friends, like legitimate friends, for a span of 3 years, I can definitely see where you would grow feelings for that person if you really felt like they were somebody that you could be with. But still, that's a hot start. How many dates had they? Was it just the one date, and then he said it on that very first date?
Recently, no. I mean, they didn't really say. He just said recently we were cooking together and teasing each other. They stopped cooking to make out, and I guess he stopped during the makeout to say I love you.
I mean, the only real, if she did it scare her away? Like, I have so many questions now. Like,
I mean, there's context not here,
right?
But he does say the rest of the evening went well, but was still awkward. So was it well or was it awkward?
Right.
And then he said, I feel like I ruined things.
So, in other words, it definitely ruined the evening. Even though he thought they were having fun, it was probably something where for her, it became super awkward.
Well, it's also one of those things, like, you said it, you didn't hear it back. So in your head, you're definitely like,
you're thinking about it.
Yeah.
And you're in
So
your head about it. Maybe she
for
didn't
you,
hear.
it's probably awkward.
I think the best advice is to still continue, like talking to her and just leaving that on the back burner. And if it doesn't feel like she really took that to heart, and like you guys can continue on without that being a hindrance, even though you feel a certain way, you have to understand that not everybody's going to feel those feelings as fast as you're going to feel them. And you have to kind of be patient with that stuff. I don't think you can't control how you feel, but you can control what you say. And you maybe put that on the back burner for a little while. And then if things are going well in a few months, give it another try. If she's still willing to talk and hang out with you or whatever, if she hasn't friend zoned you after that, whatever, definitely try to keep going like nothing happened. And then later down the road, if things are going well, try again. And I mean a ways down the road. I'm not talking a month from now. I'm talking a month after you. I'm talking like 3, 4, 5, 6 months. Anywhere, depending on, feel out the situation before you just jump right into
No. No. So
cut her loose.
For
Huh?
context, no. For context, you said that he said it's awkward now.
He
his
said,
head, yeah.
No, he just said the rest of the evening went well, but was still awkward. I feel like I ruined things. You didn't like. I look up questions that were posted today, the day we record. So,
well, I wonder what her reaction was to it, because full disclosure, I said I love you to Kate way sooner than I probably should have. I mean, we got engaged 6 months into our relationship. So it's crazy that this story's here. I'm sorry I didn't write that.
Well, it worked out for you.
Well, yeah, and that's what I was gonna say. It was that it slipped out in the moment. Like it wasn't meant to say that, Oh,
I love you.
Well, it wasn't like that, but it does work out. I just like you said, there needs to be context to what happened, because if she looked at you like, what do you mean by that, or
right,
that, and she's just not talking to you, then she definitely feels uncomfortable. But if things are otherwise normal than what's in your head, maybe she kind of feels the same way, but she's kind of guarded to want to say that back.
Right.
I would, like Dean said, I would put that on the back burner. I wouldn't go off and be like, hey, do you love me?
Yeah, don't bring it up in conversation like next time. So like, what do you think about that? Like, just don't do that. Just pretend like it never happened.
Right. Until you feel comfortable and you think the time is actually right, which that may have been the right time. You just don't know. I mean, it's hard to know without knowing how she reacted.
Yeah.
Because from what it sounds like, everything's normal and it went well, then I would probably, like Dean said, you can control what you can say. Maybe hold off on that a little bit, if that's how you feel. Other words, do it again. See what happens. Throw it all out on the dice.
Like you
Throw
said,
the dice
man,
out there.
There's a lot of context that's not there.
Yeah.
To really know. Like 1 month girlfriend, we don't even know if they together were like, oh, we're in a relationship.
Right.
It's only been a month, dude. 4 weeks. That's nothing. Like he thought they were in a relationship, but she just thought they were hanging out and going on dates. Like that's very possible. It's very possible that since he has known her for 3 years, he said he had feelings 4 to 5 months. It's longer than that. I mean, he's saying that, you say that you protect yourself. You don't want to say that to her. Like, I've liked you the whole time you were with this other guy. Like, to me, that's what I think. In my head, the situation I've created is that he was friend zoned or whatever. While she was in a relationship, she could be fresh off a relationship, and they're hanging out doing whatever, or even they even said, well, we're together and it's only been a month, and he's ready to like full in, let's go, because he's been thinking about this for years now.
Right.
And
On that end.
and she's just like, yeah, like I don't know. And if it's just straight up, all right, so if I take it as exactly as he said it, known each other 3 years, interested in her for 4 to 5 months, they've been together a month. Yeah, I mean, dude, that's soon. That's soon to spring it on somebody. Even if you feel that way, it's okay to say, because like you guys said, I mean, you feel how you feel, but you also can't take it personal.
Right.
That soon in, and you gotta, like, if it comes up, like, I wouldn't bring it up personally.
Right.
I might in a joking way, because that's just how I handle things, or how we typically handle things, right? I might bring it up in a joking way and be like, and if it does, you just got to be like, hey, it's okay, like, that's just how I feel. Like, I've been interested in you for like almost half a year, and now that I've known you this much more, like, now that we're closer, like, it's only just exponentially increased those feelings. I don't expect you to say I love you back to me, but I do feel like I love you if it comes up.
And
And
will
if
you marry
not,
me?
yeah, get on one knee.
The
I already
advice
asked
I
your
could give
dad.
you.
But yeah, I mean, so at the end of the day, just let it go. If you can, if you're not, then you're going to struggle. If you can't let it go, then you're going to struggle big time. And it is going to be awkward, and it is not going to work out. But if you can just be like, okay, I said it. That's how I felt. It's whatever. She might not be there. It's only been a month, bro. So like, yeah, you got to cut her some slack too,
Right.
And we don't know what situation she was in right before this. And so, yeah, it's just leave it be. If it comes up, just be like, it's cool. Like, that's just how I feel. I've really been interested in you for a long time, and now now that we're doing all this together, it's just I like you a lot more, which made me feel like I love you, and that's just where I'm at. So I don't know. I mean, that's what I would do. I would be incredibly embarrassed if I said it and it gets said back.
It
And
it
then,
it is. It is a little like unnerving, right?
yeah,
Because he's probably gone over that situation in his head multiple times, and maybe he wasn't ready to say that. I mean, he was ready internally, but maybe in that moment he didn't want to say it. Like me, like, I'm a perfect example. I wasn't looking to say that at that moment, but it slipped out, and Kate kind of looked at me like what? I was like, I didn't mean to say that. Like, I don't, like, I said to her, I'm like, I didn't mean to say that. It doesn't mean I don't like you or I don't have feelings for you, but I probably shouldn't have said that. And then she's like, come here, you big lug.
and one word to the guy, like, bro, you might be her rebound. If this is like, think about your situation. I really want you to think about your situation, because you need to protect yourself too. Like, you're on hard. If you're gonna go all in regardless, guess just go for it. But you got to think, like, if she is fresh off of something else, you didn't say that, but if she is, and you obviously know if she has been, you could just be this rebound person because she's comfortable with you. And if you see that and you're not cool with that, dude, you gotta, because otherwise it's just going to end really badly for you. And you just thought you were being that guy who was there for her and be there, and now it was happening and whatnot. And you might not even be somebody she's that super interested in.
Very true.
So think about that, bro. All right. Protect yourself out there. It's okay. It's okay to feel,
Been there, brother.
So think about
hurts.
your situation and go from there. Think about where she's been. Don't just assume.
Like I
Anyway.
did.
Hey, dude. Tale as old as time, my man. Moving
happy,
on to the moving on to the next one. This one is titled Looking for Perspective. I, 36-year-old female, have been seeing someone, a 44-year-old male, for the last month. We met on Hinge, had a great first date, have had subsequent dates, and I really like him. Some background. This is a little wordy. I am going through a divorce. My soon-to-be ex-husband had an affair, and I have 2 children of whom I have primary custody. The guy I'm seeing has a child he sees every other weekend. I haven't dated in a long time. I went on some dates with the guy at the end of last year, but wasn't ready, so I ended things. Since I'm so new, I'm looking for some perspective, good, bad, or indifferent. This guy is tall, handsome, funny, has a good job, seems very responsible, etc. He seems to be into me. Not sure if it matters, but we have slept together. We text every day. But there are times when his texting is short, whether one-word responses or just declarative statements that don't need a response. I have an anxious attachment style, but I'm trying to remind myself that texting isn't always indicative of how someone feels. He also doesn't ask me a lot of get-to-know-you questions. The other issue I have is that he doesn't plan dates in advance. It's more of a come to a soccer game with me tonight, or do you want to come over tonight? We're both busy as he travels for work, and our weekends don't currently line up without our kids, so time is limited. I guess I want to know when I will see him next. His last serious relationship was 2 years ago. It lasted about 2.5 years. She is not the mother of his child. My question is this guy into me? Is this normal modern dating behavior? It's only been a month, so if I need to slow down, that's fine too. I already had a husband who didn't choose me, so I'm looking for someone who wants to be with me. Like I said, just looking for perspective. Thank you. Lot to unpack there.
Kinda. Yes. Yes.
It boils down to some simple stuff, right? But
right. So perspective being the month, when you said a month, that was a big kicker. I understand being a single mother wanting to be with someone.
have you been a single mother?
No, I'm just no. That you want to be with someone that you want to be with, and you don't want to really date around is what I was getting at from that. With that said, does his personality match what he's texting? You know what I'm saying? So, like, is he kind of reserved? And we know people like that. Kind of quiet, doesn't talk a lot, or is he outgoing and like the only time he ever asked you to come over is every so often, or you know what I mean? The perspective is, I would kind of like our last person in a sense, is you're going to need to start, you're going to need to guard yourself, because there's a very good possibility based on how he was texting you or talking to you, being a 44-year-old male, he's not a young person. You know what I mean? So, that he just may not want to be with you. He just wants to get with you. And I hate saying that, but when, like, after texting him after you guys slept together, is it just the okay? Or, we kind of talked about, the one word text, So perspective being, you need to take a step back, and I understand you may like him, but there's a really good chance he might not like you the same way. And I hope not. I hope that's not the case for you if you're watching this. But I would be a little more guarded than what you are.
Yeah, I'm gonna start by saying that's not necessarily how modern dating goes, where they're not trying to get to know you and they're not trying, but you're also not necessarily dating a modern guy either. I mean, he's in his 40s. You know, I mean, he's probably a little bit more old school, but she's also 36, so she should get it. But that would mean, you know, he's a little bit more old school than she is. Maybe, I mean, there's a very good, I mean, he's a 44-year-old dude with, you know, I mean, I know he has his kid every other week or whatever, but I mean, he's probably pretty busy through most of the week. But I don't know. I don't know his life. And like Bill said, like, does his personality match the text messages? Like, is he very like one word answers to everything? Is he very reserved to himself? Things like that. And then, like Bill said again, it's like you have to also remember the reality that he might not be interested in you like that either. And you do need to have a guard up and maybe even slow things down on your end, regardless of where you're at. The thing that really got me was the 1 month together. It sounded like they had possibly been together for a few months at least, so maybe 2 or 3. The 1 month, it's like maybe he just doesn't want to say anything to mess it up, and he's afraid to, you know, express himself through text. But I don't know what their conversations are like, you know, in person and all that stuff. So I would say keep your guard up. But sometimes people are just busy. You know what I mean? I mean, that's just how it is. And he's an older guy. I don't know what he does for a living. You know, so you have to take that into account too. It's only been a month. So if it continues, I would say just definitely step back from it.
Well, and you know, to piggyback off that too, it's like, do you guys talk on the phone? Do you know what I mean? Like, is it just all a text-based relationship? Unless he wants, you know, you to go to his place or go to a soccer game, whatever, you know, like you said. So
I also think getting the invite to the kids' soccer game is kind of a sign that he is at least a little bit.
We don't know if it was a kids' soccer game.
That's true. I just assumed because he has a kid.
I guess I thought so too, but it's also like,
I guess, yeah.
Come to a soccer game with me tonight. Like that could be.
That's
like
true.
A date.
Yeah,
right.
Like
a
go
date
to
night.
like any. I mean, Detroit City football club's playing. You know.
I was thinking.
Night,
I was thinking
the
complete opposite. I was thinking kids soccer, like his kids.
Yeah.
Soccer.
No, I mean it could be. It doesn't specify, but if that was the case, then it would make you feel differently.
Right. So if that's the case, if it's like a kid's soccer, like his kid's soccer game or whatever, then that would show that he's at least a little bit interested. So, but if you haven't met his kids or his kid or anything like that, I mean, it has only been a month, but like, you know, if he doesn't talk about him a lot or whatever, then the signs are probably pointing more towards he's just interested in the physical activities than he is in who you are.
I mean, yeah, I mean, there's a lot of good stuff there that you guys are highlighting. I mean, the first question, is this guy into me? He at least is a little. It's hard to say beyond that. Normal modern dating, I guess. I don't know. Like, here's the thing too. Just to be straight up, you're 36. Okay, I'm 36. This guy's 44. And we knew what it was like before we all had cell phones all the time. Mm-hmm. And I can tell you, just as somebody who's your age, I don't love to text all day. That's not something and it's not because I'm not interested. It's because it's like, dude, this is all day. What do we have left to say?
Right.
Like we're in constant contact with each other. And I realize that goes against like her, whatever your name is out there, your anxious attachment style. But like, you got to understand, like, I don't know where this guy's at. Okay. So I'm not defending him. I'm just saying, as another guy, your age, it's exhausting. Especially you just met somebody in like that month. And like, I don't know if you're texting him all the time or every day, but it's like, sometimes I'm like, dude, I got stuff going on. I'll shoot you 1 word, 2 words, like, okay, sounds great. Or, yep. Or I hear you, you know, I don't say sure, not without an exclamation point. Right. You know? But like, that's what I'm saying. It can be a lot. So you got to take that with a grain of salt. Also, if somebody's interested, they'll make time. they'll make that time for you. I would say if he's more, I guess, old school, take it back to when we were teenagers. You remember, like, the only times you could talk was usually at night on the phone. Like, if he just is too busy to text all day, he could call you for 10 minutes before he goes to sleep. Or you could call him, right? And have that be the time you guys catch up and you chat and whatever. Like, if this is anything for, and if he's not interested in that either, then I would cut bait.
Writings on the wall.
Yeah, writings on the wall. I think you should still, while this situation is happening without knowing more information, I think you should keep dating. I think you should keep seeing what else is out there on the dating apps that you're on, Hinge or whatever, and just see what else is out there, because there will be somebody who is okay with your anxious attachment style, who can respond to you whenever, and maybe they have the same thing. So this guy, you said he's tall, handsome, and funny. I mean, just being tall, he's already going to get most ladies that he wants to be with. If he's white, he's going to get 95% of them. So, like, and then he's funny too and handsome. Like, it's, you're competing with a big pool, because that's exactly what most women I've talked to are looking for, is tall, white, handsome, and funny. So if he's all those things, he's got a lot of options out there. No. And I'm not saying it to hurt you. I'm just saying that's the reality of the situation. Like, you're looking for that too, obviously. So is probably your best friend, who's, if she's not married. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're all going for the same type of dude. And so he's got a lot of people filling up his Hinge app, or I'm assuming that's an app. I don't know if it's a website or just an app. Either way, it's keep yourself available to other options. See where this goes. Like you said, it hasn't been a month, or it's been a month. If he's not making himself available to you, don't make yourself available to him. See where it goes. So,
yeah.
You guys have any last thoughts on that?
Find you someone that it'll fit your personality. Don't find someone because you find him tall, handsome.
For sure.
Find someone that will.
There are 5'5" kings out there.
Yeah, there are many 5'5" kings.
5'5" brown kings. Once taken, sorry.
But
really,
lost,
though,
baby.
Too late.
You're too late.
But really, though, like like we all said, keep your guard up, and if it continues to where you don't feel like he's enough for you, it's probably better off that you find someone that fits your personality style more and will show you more the attention that you think you need. So
100%. Dating and relationships in this day and age, man, are difficult, and they can be hard to navigate. But, not nearly as difficult or hard to navigate as the conspiracies that abound in our world. As Dean fills us in on this week's edition of Dean's Conspiracy Theory of the Week.
So this one I actually found, this is a new one I've actually never heard of before. That's I thought was pretty cool. This is is the government hiding an alien exchange program from all of us? So to get into it, in the 1960s, the US government engaged in a top secret program with aliens from a planet called Serpo in the Zeta Reticular star system. The story goes that after the famous Roswell crash in 1947 that pretty much everybody has heard of, an alien had survived named EBE-1. and it began communicating with the US military. And after months of talking back and forth with EBE-1, they had arranged a human alien exchange program. So pretty much like how schools do like a foreign exchange program, essentially. We'll swap, obviously he was already here. Now we're going to, give them a few people, whatever. So in 1965, 12 Americans left in an alien spacecraft to Serpo, and the journey took 10 months, and the team of soldiers stayed on that planet for 13 years, where they learned about the aliens' technology, culture, and their way of life. They go on to give like details on what like the Serpo inhabitants looked like. They said they were like a benevolent and humanoid figure, but with like differences like large eyes and access to telepathy, is what they were saying. And it kind of starts to get kind of dark a little, because of the 12 soldiers that went, only 8 returned back to Earth, while 2 of the members had passed away on Serpo. And believe it or not, the other 2 actually decided to just remain on the planet. They decided to stay there. And the soldiers that returned brought back a vast amount of knowledge, but had to live out the rest of their lives under new identities. And all this was leaked, if you're wondering where my sources were from, all this was leaked by a former government official in 2005. But there's also a book written that's called The Secret Journey to Planet Serpo by Len Kasten, where he goes into detail on this and gets most of his information from a 3,000-page debriefing from 7 of the soldiers that came back from the planet, which is what the book is based off of. It's not like a full-on like documentary book, but like it's based off of what this debriefing had said. But they describe the journey and the people and their lives on the planet in much more depth in the book. Obviously, I didn't read the book, so I don't have all that info. But also in the book, he goes on to say that the E-Bens, is what they were calling them, have returned to Earth 8 times, and that our government has a continued relationship with them. So they've just been in contact ever since 1960. They've been hiding this from us since 1965. So like in the end, so that was pretty much it. So like in the end, it really brings up 2 questions, which is what did we learn from that time on Serpo, right? If this is all like a real thing. I mean, there is FBI declassified documents on this. So I don't know. And then how did those 2 members die? Was it something with the planet? Were they taken out by, aliens, did they get sick? Like what exactly happened? And maybe it's in the book. I don't know. So I guess if you want to check it out, but it's definitely something wild to think about. Like back in like the 60s, like could you imagine going on a 10-month journey to a different planet for whatever reason? I mean, for like a foreign exchange program, and live there for 13 years, just trusting them that you're gonna live through that. You know what I mean? Isn't that freaking crazy? So the conspiracy is that the government has been hiding this from us since 1965, and there's been a full-on contact with aliens, or aliens from outside, or extraterrestrials from outside the planet for years, decades. Whereas like they're just starting now to be like, oh, like UFOs are real, and like, oh, aliens do exist, things like that. So pretty freaking wild.
Are you talking about the 2 that stayed on the planet?
What do you mean?
Like what happened to them or how they die?
Well, for only of 12 soldiers that went, only 8 returned. So 2 died on the planet, and then 2 stayed to live there, or whatever happened to them after. Because obviously you're not going back. So
2
like what?
Freaks.
So yeah, I mean, they might have just been into it, or they just
I'm good. I'll take the next one.
This is the only one. Like,
yeah,
we'll be back.
Yeah, I mean, bound to be another.
But I thought that was a really cool one, mostly because I've never heard of it before. So, and I imagine you can look all this stuff up online if you really wanted to.
This is like adjacent to that, because I just seen something about like lizard people. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Uh,
Oh, I know what you're
I
saying.
think, yeah, I think yeah, I mean, you would, it came up because I had seen something also. Jim Brewer, the comedian, he was in Half Baked. He was talking about how he doesn't think Dave Chappelle is actually Dave Chappelle anymore. He didn't
I had
say
seen
that, but
that.
that's what he was implying.
Yeah.
You see
I've
that?
seen that. Yeah, I
Yeah.
have. Yeah.
And then, it might have been that video. I think it was a different one though, where they were talking about the Dare video, like the Dare commercial, where
Mhm.
like they're talking about doing drugs and all this other stuff, and like at the end, like the guy just kind of transformed into like a lizard person face, and they're like, how many of these are living out here? Like, think that was actually his real form or whatever. It's
You
kind
really
of a
want to
creepy
do
commercial.
If you really want to do a deep dive on lizard people, definitely do it, because there's
Maybe
a lot
next
of
week
there's a lot of
on
weird
Dean's
proof on that.
conspiracy.
Well, I've kind of went into that before.
Well,
Apparently,
there's more to delve into, is there not? But
Uh,
no, I wondered like how many, during this exchange program, while you were saying it's like how many are among us too, and if that's
that was
that's
part of it
it.
too. Yeah, is
Yeah.
that they
Straight
could
up
be
Men in
living
Black.
among us. I mean, if they're coming back and forth anyway, you know what I'm saying? It wouldn't be crazy for them, and they have telepathy from what they're saying. I mean, who knows? Nobody knows, but there is declassified documents on this whole thing. So it's like, how much of a conspiracy is it really, other than the aliens possibly living among us, which is, something that people have talked about already, but it could just be more than one, could be multiple different kinds of aliens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's wild, man.
Yeah.
Real
Every
Men
day
in
you-
Black situation.
Yeah.
I don't know, man.
Water.
Sugar.
Water. Hey, man, that's kind of stuff that stops your heart. I feel like my pulse stops every week after you drop a fresh conspiracy on us, Dean.
I got a
And then
really
just
cool simulation theory story next week, possibly.
Ooh,
Nice teaser.
So, yeah.
Little teaser.
As quickly as the pulse stops, my pulse shoots through the roof, and we get into another round of Bills Balls games.
Fellas, we're back with a little Family Feud. Not the late version, just straight up Family Feud.
Just straight up feud.
Okay.
All right.
Don't think so sexual. Got it.
Got it.
There you go. All right. We all know the rules of Family Feud.
So clean.
Eddie, you won last week's game, so you can answer first.
It's been a while since he's lost any of these games, Bill.
Five answers on the board here. Name something that gets passed around.
Not late night edition. I'm gonna go with a doobie.
That is the number one answer. Would you like to play?
Yes.
All right.
Something that
Name
likes to
something
get
that
passed
gets
around.
passed around.
Something that gets passed around. Clothes?
That is incorrect.
Like hand-me-downs is what I was thinking.
Strike. Strike one.
Passed around. A food dish. Like past the potatoes,
Can't give that to you. Strike two.
Oof. That's cold-blooded, man.
Yeah.
Got the striped polo on, you got it real serious.
Name something that gets passed around.
Something that gets passed around. Shoot. I am.
I like the food
something that
thing
gets passed around. A tray.
I'll give it to you. A collection plate.
Yeah. Yeah.
Those are completely different things.
Something gets passed around. A picture.
Third strike, Dean for the steal.
Alcohol, bottle of booze, bottle of Jack.
Dang.
46 points for Eddie.
Oh.
That is wrong. Number one answer was a joint. Second answer, number two answer, a cold. Third one, a collection plate. 4, a rumor. 5, a baby.
Hey, go
All
on.
right.
Moving on.
I feel like if I was watching Family Feud, people wouldn't be guessing those things.
Oh.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep. These are surveyed people. Question 2, D.
No, I get it. I'm not judging you on it. I'm just saying, I feel like when I watch the feud, it'd be like if somebody was like a rumor, like I would be very surprised if they said that.
It'd be a hell of an
I don't
answer.
know. It would be.
Name
great
a reason
answer.
a person might wake up at 2 in the morning. There's 5 answers.
Name a reason a person might wake up at 2 in the morning. Go to the bathroom.
Number one answer. Would you like to play?
Yeah, I'll play it.
All right. Name a reason a person might wake up at 2 in the morning, Dean.
Little snack.
Number 3 answer.
Okay.
Eddie, Dean, we asked 100 people. Name a reason a person might wake up at 2 in the morning.
How many answers are there? 6.
There's 3 left.
3 left. 5.
Yep.
Get up at 2 in the morning. Little hanky panky.
Good answer was strike 1.
Okay, strike 1. I already said food. That's my main go-to. 2 in the morning. Get up for work.
Strike 2.
Some people.
Name a reason a person might wake up at 2 in the morning.
Emergency phone call.
Strike 3.
Okay. Wouldn't let me go.
Eddie.
To take care of a baby.
That is incorrect. Dean.
That was a pretty good answer.
I thought it was good.
54 points on that. Number 1 answer was nature's call. Number 2 answer, thirsty. Number 3 answer,
probably the most obvious.
Number 4, nightmare. And number 5, restless.
Isn't nightmare and restless kind of similar?
I assume like restless is like you're just moving around, you know what I mean? Yeah. Like stiff leg syndrome. I don't know. All right, 54-46.
Then again, when people are trying to come up with answers, they have like 6 other people trying to come up with an answer with them, right?
That's
or
true.
4 or 5 others. So maybe, maybe restless could come up. That is a
Third
lame
answer.
answer.
Third
That is
answer.
the lamest answer ever. Who gets them
Take
at
it
2
over
because
Steve
they're
Harvey.
restless?
Third question. 4 answers. Double the points for the
Bill's got to
win.
go to the bathroom too. 2 a.m.
I do. Name the worst place to accidentally fall asleep. There's 4 answers.
Let me think about this for a little bit. Worst place to fall asleep. Worst place to fall asleep. In the car.
That is the number 1 answer. Do you want to pass the play?
Yeah, I'll play it.
All right. 3 answers to go.
I'm gonna get
the couch.
That is incorrect. Strike 1.
Man, I hate falling asleep on the couch.
I love it.
Huh?
I love it.
Yeah. Well, because I'm sitting up.
Oh yeah.
Like, and then I'm like, my back and my neck, my back. At work.
That's the number 2 answer. Hey, quick story on that. I get ready for work in the morning upstairs. Our bedroom's downstairs, and I have a recliner in the office, and I change up there. And Kate woke up early one morning as I was getting ready for work, but I accidentally fell asleep in the recliner. I was in such a vulnerable position. I was like pretty much naked. I just had underwear on. Because I just kind of like went back. Like, she walks in, she goes, Bill. I'm like, what time is it? She goes, it's early. Just gotta get ready for work. I'm like, you just saw me in the most vulnerable position ever. I look hideous. Anyways, 1 and 2 answer correct. 1 straight.
At church.
Number 4 answer. 1 more answer for the win.
At a funeral.
Strike 2.
Ooh.
I don't think anyone's maybe.
At your wedding.
Strike 3. Dean for the win.
I only have one answer, and it's because I've seen it happen. The bar.
Ooh. It's a good answer.
Mid snore in a busy bar. That's all I could think of that whole time. So I know it's not right, but
that would be the 5th answer because that'd be one person who would say that. That's me. That is incorrect. Eddie wins. The number 3 answer was bus/train.
All right.
Great answers. We're moving on to the speed round. Eddie, would you like to go first or second?
I'll go second.
He wants to go second.
As I'm looking into the eyes of that man right there.
Take off them cans.
No, I turned the my audio off.
Did you?
Did.
You just answered.
No, I didn't.
Take your hands off. Sticking to a clock this time.
Whatever.
Okay.
All right. We're going to go 35 seconds.
Okay.
All right. 5 different questions, 200 to win. First, the timer will start after the first question. What would it be hard to do if you accidentally put on super glue instead of lipstick?
Talk.
Name a place you would never want to hear someone say, oops.
The bathroom.
Name something people change on a regular basis.
Change on their underwear.
Name something you do to your nose.
You pick it.
Name something people kick.
A ball.
Ding, ding, ding. Ooh, that was quick.
Thank you.
Quick.
That's what all my ex-girlfriends said too.
All right. First question. What would it be hard to do if you accidentally put on super glue instead of lipstick? You said talk. That was the number 2 answer for 32 points.
Okay.
Name a place you would never want to hear someone say oops. You said the bathroom. That is 0 points.
Yeah, I thought I got 2 zeros here.
Name something people change on a regular basis. You said underwear. I accepted clothes. That is the number 1 answer for 85 points.
Okay. Okay, girl.
Name something you do to your nose. You said pick it. That was the number 2 answer worth 27 points. And name something people kick. You said testicles. That is the number 1 answer. It's balls.
Yeah.
That is 65 points, my man. That puts you within reach of an easy win with, real quick, add up here. The win.
Does that really give it over 200?
Yeah, we'll go 250.
Okay,
We'll go 250. If not, you guys.
That means I just win the whole thing.
Yeah. Whoa.
All right. Dean went. You got some work to do. You need about 41 points.
That's pretty damn good.
Are you ready? 35 seconds. Timer will start after the first question. What would it be hard to do if you accidentally put on super glue instead of lipstick?
Eat.
Name a place you would never want to hear someone say, oops.
Funeral.
Name something people change on a regular basis.
Clothes.
Eh.
Light bulb.
Name something you do to your nose.
Blow.
Name something people kick.
Ball.
Eh.
Rocks.
Ding ding. I gave you 40 seconds. I gave Dean 35 the first time. Let's see here.
I'm sure rocks is nothing.
All right. First question. What would it be hard to do if you accidentally put on super glue instead of lipstick? You said eat. That is the number one answer. We're 32 points.
Of course.
Dean had the second answer with talk at 32 points. Name a place you would never want to hear someone say, oops. You said the bathroom?
The wrong answer.
I said the bathroom.
Oh, you said the bathroom.
I said a funeral, but
funeral. That is wrong. You both had 0 on that.
Mm-hmm.
Number one answer is operating room. And number 2 answer on an airplane.
Yeah.
Number 3 will come back. Oh, no. Name something people change on a regular basis. You said, what was it?
it's obviously 0. If you,
Yeah.
you know.
Like
It was 0. Number one answer was clothes by Dean. Number 2 answer TV channel. Number 3 their minds. Number 4 hair. Question 5. Name something people kick. You said
0.
a 0.
You'd know how many points if I got
Said
it right,
rocks.
so.
Rocks. Those rocks. Dean had the number one answer with ball. Testicles, I said. But balls. And the number 4, or the last question. Name something you do to your nose. You said blow. Dean said pick. That was the number one. Blow was the number one answer. With 55 points. You win! Family Feud. You had already won when Dean was done.
Yeah.
Nice.
I had over 200 already.
Well,
That's how I do it.
That's a
That's how I do
dominant.
speed runs.
Dominant. You finished with 296.
Dang.
That's
Put
how
us
we
on
do
the
it.
show.
Put us on,
We're ready.
Steve. We need
Good
2
job,
more people.
guys.
Excellent game as always. Nice work tonight, fellas. That'll do it for this episode. Please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And we will see you next week on Wake Up with the Sleeper Boys podcast.
Here we go.